thrilled to be able to give you my completed pages and WIPs video for August 2023. As you know, July, I really struggled. I think I only had about 2 completed pages by the end of July, and I just felt that it wasn't enough to be able to show you what I'd been coloring. So I decided I was going to wait until the end of August and then combine July and August coloring pages. When I started coloring in August, I was a bit worried about how many pages I would actually get through. August has been quite a busy month. I've had a lot of things to organize with the kids going back to school. I've had meetings to attend and a variety of things going on. So all good, all positive, and all just normal, typical busyness. And I'm really pleased with how much coloring I've actually been able to do in August. I am going to be doing a separate video explaining some of the steps I have been actively taking to help me get out of my coloring dip. Now, I'm not worried too much about coloring dips, although I don't like it when I go through one. I have been trying to analyze and work out what works for me to get myself out of one and what causes me to go into a dip. So I'm going to explain some of that in a separate video and how I've been working with myself to come out of it and steps I've been taking and things I've been realizing. So I'm really hoping it will be a video that will be of encouragement and inspiration, and also just a useful video for those of us who do get stuck in dips. And I also make those sort of videos to help me remind myself down the road of what I've tried before and how has that helped me. Anyway, I digress. So I'm going to show you my WIPs first, and then I'm going to show you my completed pages. And I don't have a lot of new WIPs. I have been quite focused on them this month. So without any further delay, let me clear this off my table and show you what I've been doing. So as you know, I have been working on the coloring checklist challenge checklist, and it's been really great. I'm slowly but surely making headway through there, as you may have already seen in my coloring checklist challenge update video, which I will link up here for you. Now, in Magical Dawn, I was working on the title page. All right, and I really like how it's coming along. I really just need to sit down and work on the bottles and the crystals. So I think what I'm going to do next is finish these crystals and maybe do the inside sand here, and then slowly think through the bottles. But I really like the smoke. So for this, the perfume fragrance, I did follow Zucchini Kitty's tutorial for the smoke. She did on, I'll show you if I can find it, this page. So on this double page spread, Zucchini Kitty shows you how to do this smoke spiral here. So I followed the same thing, but I put it onto this page and I changed the color combinations, and I really like how it came out. I like that it's light and has some depth to it. And then the background is Neocolor 2s. And yeah, so I really need to get this page done because it will help me tick off another challenge. So that is my current WIP in Magical Dawn by Hannah Carlson. The other WIP I've been doing is in Nice Little Town 6 by Tanya Bergamo-Stolovo. Just zoom you out a tad. And I've been working on one of my WIPs, which I think I started last year. I just have to find it now. Ah, here it is. And it is this one. So I found the flowers they just boggle my brain a little bit. So I've had to really force myself to not think too much about the flowers and sort of alternate lights and darks. But yeah, it's coming along pretty okay. So hopefully in September I will have this page complete, and hopefully I can push myself to finish some of the other WIPs in this book. I used a marker base on the house. Yeah, mainly the house, I think some of the stones, and then I've gone over everything with Prismacolor Premier pencils. So that is my WIP in Nice Little Town 6 by Tanya Bogema-Stolovo. Then the other WIP I have is in Mythographic Magical Earth by Joseph Kadambang. And I started this on the channel, and then I got distracted with portraits and I paused this. So I just can't find it now. Ah, here we go. So it is my sloth. So as you can see, I haven't done anything. I am going to change the coloring of these leaves. I think they're getting lost in his fur, and I actually want them to stand out a bit more. So I need to just make them a little bit more vibrant. But other than that, everything's going according to plan. So I just need to carry on working on this page. And that is my WIP. But now I do have a completed page in here. So let me find that and show you. And this completed page is going to be a color along available up on the channel. And it is this one. So here I used alcohol markers on the background, the grass, the leaves of the tree, and then everything else I used Prismacolor Premier pencils and some Spectrum Noir Sparkle just to make the sky shimmer and glow. And yeah, I was inspired by a picture I saw on, I think it was on Instagram, but I'm going to pull it up here for you. And as you can see, I was really inspired by the yellow grass, the bright red, and the contrasting blue. And when I looked at this page, I really wanted to push myself to try something different. So I liked the idea of a red leaf tree. So that's where I got my color palette choices from. And then her dress looks pink. I used some of the same pencils in the leaves for her dress, and then I used a white pencil to just soften it up. So it would be connected to the page, but also not as red as the tree. But yeah, I was very pleased with how it came out, and that is my first owl. So I like how bright he is. So that is what I have colored in Mythographic Magical Earth by Joseph Kadambang. Next up we have Romantic Country, the first tale by Erie. And here I do have a WIP. Now, I am busy following a color along series by the artist DK Design here on YouTube. She has quite a few color alongs in the Romantic Country books, and she seems to be really great at her coloring pages, and she seems very advanced. So she does beautiful backgrounds and like sunset, sunrise, a lot of clouds, and all things that I'm not yet experienced enough with. So I decided I wanted to actually learn. I need to learn, and I need to keep growing my skills. And one of the ways that I do that best is copying other people's work. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes a page that I did complete, and I did use one of her tutorials. And when I posted it on Instagram, she actually commented, and she is such a positive person, and just her positive comments I found really encouraging. So based on her artistry and just the personality I'm picking up on from her comments, I just feel she's an incredible artist to follow, and I'm really learning a lot. So I'm this is my work based on that. And it's actually nice to follow someone else's color alongs and just, you know, know that they've picked out the colors and you can just follow and create. And yeah, right now I'm not sure about the sky, but I know by the time the picture is finished, it's going to all come together and it's going to look beautiful. What I really like is the way she's doing the lighting with the shadows being cast from the chimneys and then the lighting on the buildings. And these are things I want to keep practicing, because lighting for me I feel is very important to understand for the kind of pictures I want to get to coloring. And if my lighting is accurate, it's going to help the whole page. So this is very, very useful tutorial for me. So I'm very excited to be doing this. All right, anyway, I'm rambling. Then we come to my completed page, which is Henry Books. Now I use Black Widows and Prismacolor pencils to do this. I added the stoned pathway just because I wanted to, because I could. And I used Sakura Stardust glitter pens. I used foil. So if I pick it up. Now the foil it's not very neat. It's a bit messy, but it's fine. I wanted the foil bits to stand out. And the Black Widows, I can say, do work quite well on this paper. It's not terrible. So if you do have Black Widows and Romantic Country, give it a try and let me know your thoughts. Prismacolor are still my favorite. I think I'm just a Prisma fan. So yeah, very, very detailed, but very, very fun. And the only thing I would do differently if I was to do this again, I'd focus on deepening the shadows between each book a bit more so that they look a bit more set apart and not lost into each other. But that's just a small semantic. Other than that, I really enjoyed the stonework, practicing the wood texture, working on different ways to show white. And I decided I wanted a warm window instead of a blue window to show that the lights are on. But then I didn't know actually how to create those like glass lines over my coloring to show that it's in a window. So I just decided to leave it. But yeah, really, really fun. Really enjoyed coloring that. So that is what I've done in Romantic Country by Erie. And then we have the second tale. Now here, I really, really love this page, is Magliel Castle. And I used two different color alongs. So for the moon and the sky, I followed Chris Cheng's tutorial for Romantic Country, the third tale, where there's like a witch going across the moon. But I really wanted the background, I wanted the moon, so I followed her tutorial. And I drew in this cloud and this cloud. Now, this cloud, I didn't do a good job in. I made him too fat. It looks like some sort of creature coming out of space and coming to eat the moon or something. But I'm still proud of myself because I tried. And then for the castle and the leaves here, I followed the artist DK Design coloring tutorial for this page, but I changed the color of the roof and I made it red. And it was really, really interesting how much black she used to create the shadows and the depth on this page, and where she left white bits of the paper, like here, to create the fountain. So I really learned a lot. And I want to use the same sort of idea as I've learned here in another page where this castle is. So if I show you in Romantic Country, the first tale, this is the same castle and it's further away, so it's still set at night, but now I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that nighttime look on this sort of here. So I'd do the same sort of principles I've learned, and I'd probably copy this. I'd copy here But it's just, I'd have to look at a whole lot of pictures online and see nighttime farmland and buildings, and sort of get an idea of how to create the that nighttime feel. But yeah, so everywhere there's Magliel Castle across all three books, I'm going to use this color palette, and that's how I'm going to create continuity amongst the three books, because I think they're a story. So yeah, that is what I've done, and I really, really enjoyed it, and it was so much fun. I used Prismacolor pencils. I did use a Prismacolor blender, and yeah. Oh, and Sakura Jelly Roll, the white one. So that is my completed page in Romantic Country, the second tale. Then we have The Flower Year by Layla Dooley, and here I finished a long-standing WIP, which was the fuchsia page, and I completed this page for you, which is now a complete color along up on the channel. Yeah, I think it's turned out all right. When I googled Virginia Creeper, I saw this reddish shade quite a lot, and I figured, well, I would try do that instead of making it green. So yeah, and then just to try and tie in the greenness of the fuchsia leaves, I brought in that green pencil into some of the highlights. But I really like how the fuchsias turned out. And then I used a little bit of Sakura Stardust gel pens, and I think I did polys. Yeah, I used polys for this one. So now we have another complete page. So that is The Flower Year by Layla Dooley. And then I decided that I really wanted to color a very simple page and just be playful. So I colored this page in The City Among the Stars by Hannah Carlson, and I mainly used Neocolor 2s. So Neocolor 2s for the clouds, the background, the rainbow. I did try go over the rainbow a little bit with pencils, but it wasn't working very well for me. So, and then I used some acrylic white paint to cover up the black lines on the clouds, create those little white dots, and then Prismacolor Premier pencils for the picture frame. So yeah, it's simple, but it was so fun, and I just honestly wanted to be childlike, and so I took that approach to it. So this is my first completed page in City Among the Stars by Hannah Carlson, and yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little page to do. Then next in Tales from the Forest Kingdom, in July, we finished the frog, the Frog King, and we use Inktense pencils in the background, Dovecraft glitter glue, Spectrum Noir sparkle. I use some diamond drills from Diamond Art, white Sakura jelly roll, and polychromos pencils. So it came out really, really well, and yeah, I was very, very pleased. Really enjoyed doing this one. And then in July, I saw on Instagram a time challenge. It was, can you color a page in 45 minutes? Now, I didn't want to pick too simple a page, and I didn't want to pick an overly complicated page. So I picked this, and I used a monochromatic palette, and I used polychromos pencils, and I timed myself 45 minutes. I do have a video showing me time myself. If you're interested in that, let me know below, and I will get it up on the channel. So at first I did really well, but then here you can see I didn't get to finishing the tail, and I didn't get to adding a background or even finishing the stars and the bubbles. So in some ways it's not complete, but I wanted to see how much could I color in 45 minutes, and that is how much I could quickly color. So there you have it. I can't color a full page in 45 minutes, but I think if I timed myself, I could probably have finished this page in an hour and a half, max 2 hours. And as you can see, there's no gel pen at all. So I haven't even done highlights or anything, or any sparkle pen. But it was fun to try. So those are my 2 completed pages in Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hannah Carlson for July. Next we have 100 Hugs by Chris Riddle, and in here I've done 3 pages. So I've done the polar bear. Now here I just used Prismacolor Premier pencils and white Sakura Jelly Roll. It's very, very quick and easy to color. I think I did tag all 3. Then I did the 3 little pigs, also with Prismacolor pencils, and I did the 2 boys, and I really like the color of their clothes. So I try to just keep these ones very simple and colorful. But yeah, that is what I've colored in 100 Hugs by Chris Riddle. Then we have Fairy Touch of Magic by Klara Markova, and I finished my page, my ice cream van. So here we have the guy selling ice cream, and I really like how it came out. I used chalk pastels in the background. I used Spectrum Sparkle pen. I hope you can see it. And a lot of white gel pen, some Sakura Stardust pen on the flowers. I used Prismacolor pencils, and when I got stuck, I did have a particular person I would go to. I found their picture and their take, and so I was inspired for the canopy. And then I would just go every now and then, just go check her page just to help me kind of get my head in the zone. So I found it very helpful. Unfortunately, on Instagram, I wasn't able to tag her and say thank you. But yeah, for those of you who do share your pictures on Instagram or on Facebook, they are really greatly appreciated, because they can help just inspire and keep us on track. So very, very pleased with how it turned out. And I finally have a completed page in Fairy Touch of Magic. So that is what I've done in Fairy Touch of Magic by Klara Markova. Next we have Fairy and Fantasy 2 Grayscale Coloring Book by Christine Karen. And here I have colored, if I just find it now, one sec. So I colored the wood elfing, and I didn't follow a color along. However, I did use the same color palette as Miss Martley coloring. So this is her color palette and her color scheme. And then I just followed the grayscale to complete this page. I didn't add a background because I didn't know what else to add. So yeah, that is my completed picture in Fairy and Fantasy 2 Grayscale. And I used Prismacolor pencils, and I just did put some gold sparkle in her eyes and Sakura white jelly roll for definition. And then on her clothes I use Sakura Stardust pen, and on the shell I use Spectrum Noir Sparkle, and in her eyes, unfortunately, when I brushed my hand, it brushed the sparkle across. So never mind. That is what I've done in Fairy and Fantasy 2 Grayscale Coloring Book by Christine Karen. Then finally in Anastasia Ellie Caldereva's Mysteria, we did a page together as a live stream color along, and we did this one. So I used Prismacolor pencils and polychromos. Now I followed Kirsty Partridge Art's color combo for brown hair. I didn't follow really a tutorial. I just used the same color combos. My hair came out much lighter than Kirsty Partridge Art's version. Her hair is a much darker, almost brunette hair, whereas mine has come out quite light. And then for the rose, which is a wild rose, I'll pull up a picture for you so you can see where I got my inspiration from. And then I try to just follow the line art. And then for the cicada, I used some Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen over the wings. And what I did is I colored behind the wings similar colors to what it would be, because the wings are slightly see-through, and then I went over it with a gray pencil to create that gray look, and then I put some Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen to give it a glittery sheen. And then for the cicada, the reference photo I used, as you can see, it has quite a lot of beautiful greens and almost goldish looks to it. So I tried to really follow the reference photo for that, and then also for the green bits in the wings. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with how this page turned out. I think she came out really, really pretty. And I have still got so much to learn when it comes to portraits, but I really enjoyed this one, and it was a great reminder why I love coloring portraits in the first place and why I got this book. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks so much everyone for joining me. Thank you for your support. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, and comment below. I always love to hear from you. It also helps YouTube pick up my channel, and I will see you in another video. Until next time everyone, happy coloring and have a good September. Bye for now.